Nice eye, you found a tactic to grow your lead into a win. One of my favorite opening moves. It strikes the center, a very popular way to fight for the center. Attacking the center and opening up your defending their hanging pawn. You've added an extra layer of protection to your pawn. They left their knight open for capture, giving you a chance to nice vision spotting and capturing that vulnerable knight. Takes back. Develops the knight and attacks the center. Their bishop comes into play. Ouch, you left your pawn hanging. They overlooked an opportunity to capture a free pawn. This move activates your bishop to strengthen control over the center. Their better move was to develop a knight and attack the center. That was a fair trade. A clear recapture. You allowed the opponent to win a knight through an eventual fork. They found a way to win your knight. A logical capture. This is the only good move. This blocks the check from the queen. They recaptured from a previous trade, finishing the exchange. Your best move was to force the loss of castling rights. They played the strongest move available. You permitted the opponent to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. They overlooked an opportunity to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You allowed the opponent to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. They missed a chance to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You allowed the opponent to win a bishop. Threatening that pinned piece is going to win a bishop. You mobilized your knight, allowing it to control. That bishop capture will win material after. This was the only move. A clear recapture. This moves your pawn to a safer square. This move puts the knight on a safer square. A great way to control the open file with your. This makes a passed pawn. You want a pawn for free. Black develops the bishop and attacks the. That pawn was yours for the taking. Moving the rook gives black more flexibility. You win time by threatening a bishop. This is the way to win a pawn. Your opponent has to watch that passed pawn. That pawn was free for the taking. Finally, you recapture the piece. A very strong play. Well done, an excellent move. The correct move to safety. You dodge the check, moving your king out. One of the best moves. You escape the check from the knight. With the rook now developed as well, this is a fine move. Very precise. This is a good time for you to get out of trouble. Right on target. You step your king away from the checking knight. This is the strongest option. You found a safer square for your knight. This avoids clear danger. Good job, that's what I would have played too. A solid choice. This move makes your knight. This wins a pawn. This moves your rook to a safe. That pawn was free for the taking. Very good choice. This avoids clear danger. A good choice to move your. The clearly correct move for. Well done, an excellent move. This move threatens checkmate. You trade off equal material. A straightforward recapture. This is a fine move. Pushing a passed pawn. Nice, definitely the right move. Pushing a passed pawn. Very good choice. Pushing a passed pawn. Well done, an excellent move. The knight is kicked by a pawn. Correct, of course. Move away. The knight finds a... This is a fine move. Pushing a passed pawn. You had a better option, but this is very precise. This is a good time for you to get out of trouble. That pawn was free for the taking. Very good choice. Right on target. Well done, an excellent move. This moves the bishop to a better location. This moves your knight to a safer square. Pushing a passed pawn. This is a fine move. This activates the king in the end. Very good choice. This is the strongest option. Well done, an excellent move. Very precise. You ignore the threat and counterattack. This simplifies the position, which is better. Yes, this is the way. This continues down the road to checkmate. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm. This continues down the road to check. Good job, that's what I would have played. This continues the checkmate. Nice, definitely the right move. Right on target. You step your... Yes, this is the way. This is the strong... You escape the check. This continues down the road to... Good job, that's... This continues down the road to... And the game is over. You dodge... This blocks the check. They overlooked an opportunity to win a bishop. You allowed the opponent to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. They missed a chance to win a bishop by adding pressure to a pinned piece. You recaptured the piece. A straightforward recapture. You missed a better way to defend a pawn that was under attack. Their better move was to castle kingside. Your best move was to develop further. You permitted... They moved the queen to safety. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. You permitted the opponent to eventually win a bishop. This move prepares for their bishop to join the action. Your rook is undefended, so this move loses material. They had a better way to tactically win a rook. You've just allowed your rook to be taken without a fight. They took your rook for free. You step your king away from the checking queen. This move left their queen hanging. You won a queen for free. You get a chance to win a rook through a fork. You can win a rook with a fork. Very nice. That was the only move. You missed an opportunity to tactically win a rook. They moved the rook to safety. You dodged the check, moving your king out of harm's way. That's playable. You get a chance to win a pawn through an eventual fork. You overlooked a bet. You step your king. Your opponent slipped up. You had a better option, but this is not bad. Their king steps away from the check. This is a fine move. You missed an opportunity. Well done, an excellent move. Good job, that's what I would have played. You continue the... You're still on... Pushing their passed pawn. You overlooked an opportunity. You continue the check. You're still on the road to check. You continue the check. You're still on the road to check. You continue the check. I like their... You're still on... They move their king out of the check. Their king steps... You're continue... You're still on the road to... You continue the check. You're still on the road to... You continue the... You're still on the road to check. Your move gets closer to checkmate.